Hello guys, Brad here again with another fragrance video, and it's the first day of spring. I thought, you know what, I haven't done a top 10 spring list in a long time. It's probably been about 8 or 9 years since I've done any type of spring list, and I think there's a few reasons why I've waited so long. One, I do tend to believe that these types of lists tend to get repetitive if you do them every year, and also as a fragrance reviewer, I tend to try and wear new things instead of just reaching for the same old stuff over and over like a general person would probably do. But even though I'd review a lot of fragrances, I still like to reach for some old fragrances that I have that I think are great for spring, during spring. So let's talk about 10 fragrances, no specific order, that I think I might want to check out this spring. A lot of these are going to be samples. Some of these are full-size bottles, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this is one that I really enjoy. This is Vetiver Tonka from the Hermescence line of Hermes, and what's really nice about this one is that it's a vetiver fragrance, but it's not your typical vetiver. It's sweetened with like this hazelnut accord, so really nice. I think I'm going to enjoy wearing this one this spring. You can see the greenish type liquid too. It kind of evokes spring. And one of the things I like about this fragrance is that I know Dan of My Mickers fame used to love this fragrance. So when I think of Vetiver Tonka, I think of Dan, and it brings back some good memories as well. So Vetiver Tonka is a great one for spring, in my opinion, because that vetiver gives it sort of that grassy accord that would go well with spring weather. Another one is probably one of the fragrances that a lot of people think of when they think about soapy fragrances, and that's Mugler Cologne. I got some samples of Mugler, and I'll probably try that one a few times this spring. It's just a nice soapy, fresh, green fragrance. I believe it was inspired by the smell of a hotel soap. Some people say it has like a green Irish tweed, or a green Irish spring kind of a vibe to it. So if you like green Irish spring soapy type feels, check out Mugler, great one, and it's a classic, timeless. You can wear it now, wear it 10 years ago, you can wear it 10 years in the future. It's always going to be appropriate for spring. Mugler. Here's one that was discontinued, but fortunately for everybody, it's been brought back. I haven't tried the new formulation, but hopefully it's as good as the original. This is a Suppresso D Toscana from the Blue Mediterraneo line of Acqua di Parma. It's a very refreshing, breezy, cypressy, pine type fragrance. Some herbal accords in there too. If you haven't tried the Blue Mediterraneo line, definitely check out some of them. And of course, don't overlook Suppresso D Toscana, but there's other ones that you want to check out for spring as well. Check out the Blue Mediterranean line, but I would recommend Suppresso D Toscana for spring. It's a great one. I love the House of Zenya, and one that is very affordable and pleasant to wear in the spring, Acqua di Bergamot. I think you can probably get bottles for about $40-50. Really nice, watery, bergamot, aquatic type fragrance. Very pleasant. Not real strong, but very pleasant. Check it out if you like bergamot and aquatic type fragrances. Let's see. Here's one that I'm really proud to have in my collection. It's from the house of Fuegia, called Darwin. I believe it was inspired by Darwin's trip to the Galapagos, maybe the smell of his cabin, perhaps. It's got grapefruit, vetiver, and cedar. So this one, really nice combination of vetiver, cedar, and grapefruit. So if you don't mind spending a couple bucks more for a fragrance than normal, check out some of these Fuegia fragrances, but Darwin's one that I recommend if you like vetiver, cedar, and grapefruit. Great for spring. One that's really cheap, at least for now. I think it's probably discontinued, but you can still get it cheap. Stan Lee came out with a fragrance called Signature Cologne. See, he's got his picture on the back there. People might see this fragrance on the internet and think it's just some pointless novelty grab thing, but it's actually really nice. Got bergamot, get some pepper, basil, violet leaf. I mean, it's just a really nice signature type fragrance. Great for spring and warmer weather. If you want to try something a little bit different but not too over the top, you want to check out Yankee Cologne. That's one I highly recommend. It's actually one of my Fall of Fame fragrances, top 30 as well, even though nobody else talks about it. Let's see. The rest of these are going to be samples. Let's see what we got here. This one's called New York Yankees Cologne. Now, again, this is more like a novelty fragrance, but it does kind of have some familiar aspects to it. Kind of has like a Polo Blue meets Azara Chrome meets Ed Hardy's Love and Luxe. If you like those types of fragrances, New York Yankees Cologne is a great one to try. Great for warmer weather like the spring coming up. And let's see. This one's Bond Number 9 Harrods For Him. Now, Harrods had some exclusive Bond Number 9s, and now I think they're discontinued and extremely hard to find, expensive. But fortunately, I have a couple samples, and I like this one because it has that nice rhubarb note in it. So I think rhubarb really starts to shine in the spring weather. So I'm glad to have some Harrods For Him in my collection, and I actually wore this one to work recently. Got a nice compliment from a patient, so yeah, Harrods For Him with that rhubarb note. Another one, fig is a great note for the spring weather coming up, and I think one of my favorite fig fragrances is probably Marc Jacobs. Don't overlook Marc Jacobs if you like fig. There's some other fig ones that people talk about, like Flossicos, things like that, but Marc Jacobs for me is probably one of my favorites for fig. And last, certainly not least, it's a fragrance that I've really loved for a long, long time, even back when I started doing my original top 10 spring lists, and I really should wear this one more often. I don't know why I don't wear it more often, but it's great. Riverside Drive by Bond Number 9. It's, again, discontinued. I don't know why it's discontinued. They really need to relaunch this one, or somebody needs to clone it. It's basically, I think, pineapple, sandalwood, and basil. And I know some people did write it off as pickle juice. I don't know why. I think people associate basil sometimes with pickle juice, maybe. But I think it's just a really sexy fragrance. I think some people would argue that it's kind of like a niche version of Curve, and we all know how great Curve smells. So yeah, Riverside Drive by Bond Number 9. If you can somehow get a decant or a sample of this one somehow, it's a great one to at least experience, if not in a full bottle. Unfortunately, I never did get the full-size bottle of Bond Number 9 Riverside Drive, but I did get a 1-ounce decant off eBay at one point. So I'm glad that I'll probably have a lifetime supply of Riverside Drive in my collection for warmer weather like spring. So that's it. Top 10, or at least 10 really good spring fragrances 2021. Hope you enjoyed my list. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you guys later.